Hello and welcome to another DJ Force 10 in Conversation podcast, episode 134. My special guests on today's show are Switzerland's very own Hubris. I speak to Nathan and Jonathan specifically during this show. They've got an album out called, let me get this right, Metempsychosis. It's not easy to pronounce some of their names of their songs, which you'll hear in the interview. I do struggle with, but no, it's a great chat. Absolutely fantastic album. If you love your sort of like post-rock, kind of like instrumental, like atmospheric, epic kind of sounding songs, go check them out. It absolutely like distracted me, if that makes sense. I like got through their entire album and it was just amazing. It's just great to kind of like not so much phase out to, but it gave like I was painting my like little miniature figures at the time and stuff, and the time just flew by. And this soundtrack was absolutely amazing. So do go check it out. Honestly, stop this now. Go check it out. Come back to the interview later if you like it. But yeah, go check it out on your streaming sort of platform of choice, if you will. It's available on all of them. But yeah, like I said, they got that album out, so do go listen to it. Honestly, if you love post-rock, you love it. And I've had a few post-rock bands on here, and that sort of like scene of music is absolutely magnificent. I love it. But yeah, thank you to everyone. We're kind of, where are we now? We're Wednesday. From this week, Mike and Ming on the show on Monday, which was great, from the Comic Book Men. Yesterday we had Bloodhounds, straight out of the sort of Hampshire area of the UK. Now we're going across to Europe, so we're kind of like spanning the world during my my podcast here, and we got a few more countries we're going to hit. Got a few more interviews lined up, some great ones, to be honest with you. Going to go back to America, hitting Germany, various parts of England as well. So you know, we hit France as well last week, and the week before that as well. So we're trying to get to. I'm trying to. My aim is to hit as many cities or countries around the world with my podcast, just to sort of like, you know, give the exposure that's due. But all the music that I feature on this is music that I am listening to and enjoying, which is absolutely. That's what's amazing about this. This is just like, there's so much, this downtime that we've got. It's just giving me so much time to discover music. So between the bits and stuff I'm doing for work and everything, and doing for the family, it's been great to actually just sort of have this time to really not so much focus on the music, but just have the opportunity to listen to it, because I'm in quite a fortunate position where I get sent a lot of music every day, and to be honest with you, not all of it I can listen to, just purely on the basis of time. And by the time I get to it, it's usually too late to promote it in any way. But like having this time right now, I'm really utilizing it and trying to get like into sort of like new music. So I'll go into the sort of like classic artists, like, you know, well-established artists that are around at the moment, but also new bands. You know, obviously they're being affected by this pandemic. They can't go out and promote their music, so they're here. They're talking to me to promote that, and we cover a span of things during a lot of these conversations, not just the music, but we really sort of delve deep. And I hope you guys are enjoying it, because I'm really enjoying it. And I guess, you know, what comes secondary is the sort of like the sort of just sort of having someone to speak to. Not that I don't speak to my family or anything, don't get me wrong, but you know, having someone outside and sort of like it helps on a mental health level, which is absolutely amazing. It's been great for me just to sort of like dip in and out. I say dip in and out, but you know, just kind of go in and out of these things, just so we can have a chat about something completely different than you know, what's for dinner tonight, what classes do we have today, and all that kind of good stuff, and then all the sort of work shenanigans around that as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again, guys, for listening. I know that people are out there; they are listening. I am getting like notifications that the show is being downloaded and stuff like that. But yeah, just the midweek cry to get some ratings and stuff. If you guys wouldn't mind, just sort of throwing in a rating on your podcast platform of choice: Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Just, you know, thumbs up or whatever the rating system is. That helps each and every one of these bands get a little bit like a few more ears to listen to them, because obviously I don't feature music on this show, so it is about the person. It's not just about like the music that they're making. It's about the person that's behind it, that's creating it, and that's the kind of like feeling I want to get with it. So I hope you guys are ready for this. I really enjoyed this interview. This is Hubris. This is Nathan and Jonathan. Enjoy. On my show today, I've got Nathan and Jonathan from the band Hubris. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
That's about as professional as I go from there. So, so how are you guys doing today?
We're great, yeah, we're great. Been confined at home for the past 2 months or so, and we spent a lot of time together, of course, like composing, doing anything we can at home and whatnot.
Yeah.
Being productive.
Yes, excellent. Well, that's important in these times. You have to keep yourself productive during this, because otherwise you go a little crazy, a little stir crazy. So you start demanding to go out and saying it's all a government lie. But yeah, I mean, you guys are over in you're over in Switzerland, or are you?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
And how is it over there with this whole thing?
So people are taking it seriously, but now they're kind of releasing us back in the wild a little bit. So so they're trying to open up the schools next week again, and they're going to see how it goes from then on. But we don't know how what's going to happen. It's there's probably going to be a second wave or something of the virus coming, and then we're going to close everything back again. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're here to talk about your band, Hubris, today. You guys have got an album out. I'm going to try and pronounce this, along with a few of your names that you've got for stuff, but I'm going to give this a go. Metempsychosis?
Yeah, right.
Fantastic. That's
English word, actually.
And I'll try and pronounce some of the songs off the album in a moment, because I did like a few of them.
Thank you.
Is it Daedalus?
Yeah.
And Heppius.
Yeah,
those were two of the sort of tracks that I really dug off that. But the whole experience was quite amazing, to be honest. As well, I was very keen to kind of get this interview hooked up and everything, because I really, really like your music.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
It's been helping me sort of do stuff. I've been doing a lot of painting, a lot of sort of like chores, housework, and all that kind of stuff, and it's just totally distracted that part of my mind that would normally sort of like say I can't be bothered to do this painting or anything like that. So from my family's sake, that's great as well. So but no, really enjoyed it. So basically what I wanted to do is get a sort of bit of background on you guys, like where you come from, how long you've been going for and stuff like that. Who wants to take that one? Who's what sort of the foundations of your band?
So we started in 2014, I think. It's 15. So Hubris was born after No Way to Escape. That was a metal band we were all playing. So Joe, me, and another guitar player, Corentin Wicht. And then at the end, we wanted to change the music style, and we finally decided to change the band as well. So we started to improvise and try some new ideas, and that's how we started to play post-rock, basically.
Okay.
And so we spent like 1 year just jamming around, trying some new ideas, and we finally composed the first album called Immersion. And then after that, we moved to the second one called Apocryphal Gravity. And then we played a few shows, but stopped playing because we had like a lot of struggles in the band.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of bad things happened. So yeah, we stayed like, can we say off?
Yeah.
During 2 years. And then last year, so Jonathan contacted me saying, hey man, the album went well on YouTube. So we had like around 500,000 views. And he's like, fuck, why we don't make some music again? And yeah, so we started to make the third one, so Metempsychosis, and and then everything moved like really fast. So we composed this album in 2 months, and then booked some tours, and nice. Since last year things went really well, I think.
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. No, that's cool. So what would you say guides the band? What are your sort of influences like? Because going from metal to sort of post-rock is quite a jump, generally. Where would you say the sort of like influence like? Because I hear a lot of basically, I mean, a lot of sort of instrumental post-rock bands like Mugwai and public service broadcasting, stuff like that over here. Where do your sort of influences lie?
So at first it didn't really lie in post-rock at all, because we didn't even know it existed really. Okay. So we discovered it after some people told us, oh, what you're playing is post-rock, and we're like, oh, we didn't know it had a name, and then we discovered like it was a gigantic world of so many bands, and we're like, oh my god, I guess it's a thing. But yeah, at first it was mainly what we loved the most. The other guitar player and I was the contortionist. The first album, when the first album came out, we were really influenced by that. So the mix between metal and post-rock, I guess, was a bit ambient. So that's what we were trying to go for with the metal band. And one day we just wondered, why don't we play only the ambient stuff, because it's really cool and we love that better than the metal part. So we started, I don't know, like jamming around with ideas like this, not really knowing if any other bands played anything like this. And a few months later, we discovered this huge world and were overwhelmed with how many bands in this style.
Yeah, no, it's quite cool. I mean, I sort of, in my household, I've had a few sort of like post-rock bands on the show, which has been quite good, but I sort of like, where I sort of came from, I love the sort of like instrumental music. I grew up in a house of like my dad listening to things like The Shadows and stuff like that, which was sort of very sort of like early on sort of 60s, 70s guitar music, but with no vocals, which is always very like strange. But then going into sort of like, I've always loved like ambient, like electronic music as well. So a lot of like sort of the sort of mellow stuff from Aphex Twin and Underworld and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I was just like, I love that whole sort of movement of like the post rock, or the whole genre, I should say, of that sound. And you guys are like one of the ones up the top there for myself, because it takes a lot for me to be kind of like taken away
thank you so
from
much.
where I'm at. So kudos on that front. It sounds like I'm kissing your ass a lot with it, but I really enjoy the album, so I'm going to tell everyone it's great. But let's talk about the album, if that's all right. I'm going to try and pronounce this again, Metempsychosis. I think I'm doing all right. But yeah, what can you tell us about the album? When did it come out?
So it came out this March 13th.
March, yeah.
And so we were about to release it live in Fribourg, and that day, it's when all the lockdown regulations came out. Yeah. So at 1 p.m, we didn't even know if we were going to play that show. And we still were trying to keep our fans updated, like just to say, oh, the show's still going on. And then literally 2 hours after that, we received the news that we had to cancel the whole thing. Wow. But we still released the album because it was there. So we weren't just going to keep it for ourselves for however this virus can last anyway.
So I mean, obviously you've already kind of gone like through how it affected you, because obviously your album came out bang on when this thing was kind of when lockdown was announced. But what have you kind of done to kind of like keep a momentum going? Obviously, things like this, you're doing interviews and stuff. What else are you doing? Excuse me.
We've tried live sessions. Like we all record ourselves playing the songs at home, and then put a video together of us all playing the songs. Obviously, since we can't play shows, we guess it's a good time to start composing our songs, and that's why we've tried to compose, produce, and everything. So I could do a lot of work about the fourth album and see how it goes, because it's always good to have music that's already done, like way in advance, and then you can worry about other stuff like management and all that.
Yeah, and we recorded the release show. We actually recorded the entire show with multiple cams and the audio as well. So we released one song, the hubris. That's the live take, and we might release one more. So yeah.
Cool, excellent. Well, what are your sort of, guys, if you've got anything sort of settled down, I don't know, but what are your sort of like post-pandemic plans?
Tour as much as possible, I guess. But it's so tricky, because once all of this is going to be over, there's probably going to be a lot of people scared to just go to a big gathering. Yeah. I mean, not that we draw that big of an audience anyway, but it still is kind of ingrained in people now. If you have a release party and you're expecting 1,000 people, is really 1,000 people going to show up thinking, oh, we're all going to be packed in one tiny room right after the virus is not even disappeared probably. So probably going to be tricky, but we're going to try to tour as much as possible.
It's not easy to book tours now, because you need at least like 6 months to tour, and all the venues they keep saying the same thing. They say we don't know if we can like book a show, because the venues might not be open in 6 months or maybe even next year. We still don't really know what's going on, so it's not easy. No,
I was just curious as to sort of see what people are going, because I've had a few bands that have kind of announced tours like later in the year. We're talking like November, December time. I've had bands that were due to sort of hit a lot of festivals that have now officially all been cancelled. So which started with like Download Festival here, and literally today Bloodstock Festival, which is the other sort of big metal fest here, has just announced that it's postponed until next year now. I'm just curious to see what bands are doing, if they are making sort of significant plans for a certain time and then seeing what happens, or they're just sort of like just waiting to see what happens. It's difficult.
I think most bands are just waiting to see what's going to happen in the next few months, and because that's the safest bet. If you just like spend a month organizing a whole tour just for it to be cancelled after. It just sucks, and then you spend all that time doing it. I mean, it's not the work is not lost, because you can always reschedule the tour a bit later. But it's just a lot of organising and planning for nothing. So
it's kind of a big question for you. But how do you think this will change things, like going forward, like in the music scene, not generally in life, but like for the music scene that you guys are involved in, or over the years that you've been involved in? What sort of changes do you foresee?
It's a hard question.
It is.
It is. I feel like people might make more like videos and live streams. I mean, if the virus stays longer, people are gonna have to find ways to play music live, but like on the internet, or I don't know how people are gonna find another way to show the music. Except like releasing stuff on Spotify and YouTube. It's weird, because there's no other way to play live music than playing live. I mean, it's weird.
There's probably going to be a kind of a peak in musicians using Twitch or live stream platforms like this in the next couple of months or something. But does it really affect people the same way it does if you actually see them in person? It's just I don't know. It's really
no, sorry, it was just a question that just came to my mind. I was just like, it wasn't one of my loaded questions, so I was like but no, I mean, I can foresee it being very weird. I mean, a lot of bands, like you say, doing like yourselves, have done like sort of streams of tracks you're sort of playing live, and even myself, I've done a live DJ set already, just to sort of like test the waters on that, and I did that via Twitch. And it went fine. I DJ'd for a couple of hours. It was about it. it wasn't like a massive thing, but it was very, very different from, like you say, from playing live, because you're not feeding off anything. You've got a chat room, but it's difficult to feed off that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was just curious to see like if you had any kind of like thoughts on how this would change anything. But it's a difficult question anyway on that front. It was just something off the top of my head. But back to your guys' album. Kind of got derailed there. But yeah, back to your guys' album. I mean, it's 6 tracks, but the tracks are very long.
Yeah.
You got a couple of sort of like over 10-minute tracks on there, which it's the kind of stuff I like, and it's very it's just very immersive. So what sort of like when you come to planning, say, your live show or anything, because obviously you got some tracks that are quite hefty and loaded, what goes through your process of like picking certain tracks?
Funny, because we literally was talking about this like 10 how are we going to arrange a playlist, trying to fit as much of the new album as possible, but still keeping the old songs as well.
Yeah. It's weird because usually festivals, they ask you to play 45 minutes, not 42 or 47.
Yeah.
And the answer is usually, yeah, but we're only going to play maybe 4 songs, but one is 12 minutes, another one is 10 minutes. So it's kind of tricky to make like a good set list and to stick to the time the venues or festival give you.
Yeah, usually what we do, typically in 2 of the songs from the previous album, Apocryphal Gravity, we cut out a tiny bit at the end, just because we realised actually that live it's not as effective to have like a long ambient part at the end of the song.
Yeah.
People's attention tend to withdraw a little bit. And we've got this from feedback from people. They said, "Oh yeah, it was good, but a bit too ambient or something," for people that didn't usually listen to post rock. So yeah, we cut off a little bit at the end for some songs so we can fit a bit more. But then yeah, you can't cut 4 minutes of your song anyway. So it's definitely be a 4 or 5 tracks max type of set list.
Yeah.
And how do you pick the tracks? I mean, like, because you've got 3 albums worth.
Yeah.
What sort of ones do you prioritize? Obviously, at the moment, if we were playing out, you'd be sort of prioritizing the new album. But when you come to sort of play the sort of like, the sort of the sort of like picks from all 3, what sort of like process do you go through? Do you just like take one from each and then a couple from the new one, or is there a sort of more of you got any tracks that are more popular than others?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Apocryphal Gravity was kind of a hit on YouTube. So yeah, we prioritized this album over anything. But now that the new one came out, we kind of want to force people into listening to it. So yeah, we're probably gonna, for the next shows, we're probably gonna integrate 3 songs from the new one and 2 of the previous ones, or at least 2 of the new one and 2 of the previous ones.
Mm.
But yeah, Immersion, we haven't played it for a really long time anyway.
4 years.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We don't remember how to play this album. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also because it doesn't feel right in a way anymore, because it's so long and we've added a lot of electronica in our music, and that's really something that we dig.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's missing in the first album, it kind of throws us off. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the electronica stuff in your music is great as well, because it's another sort of passion of mine. Is sort of, like I said earlier, the sort of like ambient, like dance music or electronic music, as well as sort of like general sort of like drum and bass, like bass music, stuff like that. So where does that infusion come in? What was the sort of like where'd you get your sort of influence on that side of things?
I think it's because of Jade, the bass player. I mean, now he's not playing in Hubris anymore, but when we were working on the second album, so Apocryphal Gravity, he was like, yeah, we should try to add some synths and stuff, because he's a DJ and he liked to compose songs like EDM songs and stuff like that. And the first time he asked me to to give it a try. I was like, no, that's bullshit. I don't want to have stuff on this type of music, even if I have like a lot of respect for EDM and music like that. And then he tried like just one short section, like 1 minute. He added synths and basses and stuff, and yeah, we were like, what the fuck is this? That's way too good. So we finally decided to ask Jay, so the bass player, to kind of arrange and add all these synths on the entire album. And then so last year he left the band, and for the last one I did all the synths. So it's more like arrangements, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I like that kind of infusion of genres and sounds. It's great. So I've got a couple of questions left for you guys. I can let you sort of get on for the rest of your day, if that's all right. So these questions are aimed at both of you, but separately. What I want to find out is your 3 top albums that have influenced you to become the musician that you are. So I'm talking about the ones that kind of made you want to pick up a guitar, made you want to play, made you want to sing, stuff like that. What albums would those be?
It's tough to choose 3 albums, but I would definitely. There's definitely Rage Against the Machine, like self-titled album.
Nice.
In that, that's for sure. It's like one of the biggest influence ever.
Yeah.
At least. Then, but if I just said like rock or metal stuff, it wouldn't just like I don't know, pay tribute to all the music that I've listened, all the styles that I've listened to throughout my year.
What about ones that kind of like, when you first heard it, it kind of like really kind of like, it doesn't have to be like their best album, it's just like the album that really kind of like got you into that sort of genre of music?
Probably it's Dafer Youssef. He's an oud player from Tunisia. He's it's not his last album, the one before, the one of Beauty and Odd. That was definitely a big influence on my playing.
Cool.
Even though there's no guitar in the album, it's like a jazz quartet, and it's so amazing. And of course, like I cite it every time. It's just the best band ever. It's Esbjörn Svensson Trio. Mm-hmm. So it's a pianist from Sweden, and he's just the best. And yeah, for many years he was like basically the only person I was listening to.
Nice. Cool. Next.
So I'd say John Hopkins. I think he's from England.
Cool.
He's like a piano player, but he's making a lot of electronic stuff as well. So he's like one of the main guy that put me into electronic music. So yeah,
cool.
I would say him. And Moderat. I'm not sure if you know that band. It's the guys from Berlin. So it's a mix between Mod Selector and Apparat.
Okay.
So it's Moderat.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's electronic music too. But yeah, that type of music really influenced me for the hubris stuff. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, fair enough, cool. No, I just like to ask these questions. So I like to go back and listen to some like albums that people have like been influenced by in their sort of like musical career and stuff like that. But no, I'm going to go check out all those out. Obviously, I've heard Rage Against the Machine, but the other ones I haven't heard, I don't think. So I'm going to give that a listen and see where that goes. But finally, what are your guys' hobbies away from music? So when you're not doing anything hubris-wise, what do you guys do?
Only hubris. No. I love climbing, not like with a rope or anything, but it's called Via Ferrata.
Yeah.
It's basically going up a mountain. There's basically going up a ladder, but the ladder is like stuck inside a mountain. So
okay.
There are many like ways and paths in Switzerland, and yeah, nice. I'm really loving it. So hiking, trekking, doing all that stuff, like going outside.
Yeah, same for me. Just going in the mountains and walk and sleep under a tent and just chill.
Nice.
Yeah,
definitely sharing a beer with some friends next to a lake. There's you can't get any better than this anyway.
No, I'm very jealous of the area you live in because of that. because where I'm in England, it's very flat and it's very boring. But I've gone up to Scotland a few times and sort of spent some time in the Highlands up there, which is, you know, quite nice. I lived in the States for a while, so we kind of went to a few things there. But yeah, no, Switzerland's definitely on my list to travel to soon. So once we're allowed to.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Nathan, Jonathan, thank you very much for your time, guys. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything outside of the pandemic as much as you can be. I hope the album is sort of like doing you well and everything, because it is a good album. Like I said, it's been on my playlist constantly and it's been occupying my brain, which is great. So, but yeah, no, thank you very much, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Hope you're well.